a bit more of a conversational, like topical piece. What is
much.
going on with Hawkeye? The show. It's not a direct question for you. It's just more of
No, yeah.
Well, it kind of is a question for you. You probably remember. But we know Jeremy Renner's in kind of a state of limbo. I think probably the best way to say it at the minute. Like, I don't know how far these allegations are going and what's happening with him. I'm aware he's suing his ex-wife.
Yeah, defamation. Yeah.
So I'm not sure. There are rumblings that Marvel are talking about what to do. Obviously, they have to at this point. Especially at the gun. And on the flip side of that, we don't know if Hailee Steinfeld is actually ever going to be Kate Bishop. So obviously there's contractual things there because she's got Dickinson on Apple TV Plus, and apparently people really like that, and she kind of wants to do more of that. So, and I believe as far as we're aware, Marvel hasn't talked to anyone else but Steinfeld.
Yeah.
So.
What's
the deal?
I
assume the show will happen still, but
I say let's take it from the top here. Sure. With the Renner thing, this is a kind of a messy, sticky situation, and as is any divorce in Hollywood, because this is in the spotlight. Now, that being said, anybody can threaten with accusations of anything. She has produced zero proof of any of this. As for the company Marvel, all I can know is that he's still with the show.
Yeah.
He is still with the show actively. But of course they are taking it seriously, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I
mean, you have to, especially the James Gunn situation. Obviously, they had to react quickly to that. On the flip side with WB, you had Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. They didn't react to that. They kind of held fast and carried on as normal. And then, of course, it all came out that she was the Fruit Loop out the two of them. Yeah. Which she's still in Aquaman, apparently. But we'll see how that one goes. So
Miriam on the show.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that this guy can obviously go, but it's
it's
a difficult spot because obviously, this day and age, you can't really go, oh, she's clearly lying, but it's like, well, you don't know she's lying. You can't, you have no proof she's lying or not. Obviously, she still has to deliver everything, but it's
like on the flip side, it's and she's got to realize this is if she comes out and says this. I think she's and I'm not saying he's not guilty or he is guilty of anything.
Because obviously,
I don't know.
Just defend Renner and then put all the blame on her. Renner has done some fucked up shit in the past, but so did Robert Downey Jr. So was Josh Brolin.
Yeah,
we're here where we are today.
We the stuff that he's done is fucked up, but it's not anything as bad as this is being accused of. We're talking about gun violence and violence against women.
I also the whole gun thing. Surely we'd have heard about that before. My thing. So that's a big thing to go unnoticed for a while. But
I think she. I don't like I said, divorce is messy to begin with. Yeah. But when you're talking about Hollywood divorce, it becomes. Yeah, it goes up 2 to 3 levels more because everybody's in the spotlight, everybody's under scrutiny. When I divorced my ex-wife, nobody knew, nobody knew, nobody was talking about it, because no one cared. But then you put Hollywood, people in the middle of something like same situation, it becomes overblown news, and on top of that, I don't know. And I'm not saying that she is wrong because I don't know. Yeah. But in this day and age, women have cried wolf a million times. I mean, let's what's her face, Rose McGowan, for taking an example.
Yeah.
For months to years, she was Harvey Weinstein, and not saying Harvey Weinstein what he did was wrong, right? But then it turns out that she was doing basically statutory rape, on top of that, and it just, I don't know, man. He is still actively involved in that show.
Yeah.
And I mean, until something happens, I mean, I don't think the company wants to overreact.
No, especially when it's like, Kate Bishop's kind of a prominent character for the direction they're obviously moving in, and it's like, well, if we can't get this show out, what are we gonna do? No, you can't do the Young Avengers and then bring Kate in. You can't do Kate before.
Kate's the foundation for that next thing,
She's also probably the biggest character to come out of the Young Avengers.
Yeah, and you have to set her up too before that happens.
Exactly.
Because you've already got one character that's pretty established.
You got Cassie. Cassie.
But she's not. She's like, I think Kate Bishop is the bigger character.
So what you're saying is stature's not big enough?
Yes, she's not tall enough.
Finger guns reference, if you get that reference. So actually, just speaking of finger guns, is that actually Hawkeye or is it Deadpool?
I don't think it's Hawkeye because Hawkeye is in production yet. Is it like I'm assuming that would be a. I don't know. Like
it's the production company title.
I don't think it. No, it's not. It's not Hawkeye. No.
Yeah. No. It's like I've heard like the big thing at the minute is finger guns could either be Deadpool or Hawkeye, but I think people. It's like Limbo. People thought, and admittedly, we talked about it on the show on Wednesday that Limbo looked like to be Fantastic Four when apparently it's Loki.
Loki, yeah.
It's just kind of like, okay, fair enough.
Well,
it makes more sense to think about actually. Right? Yeah, so.
Well, like some of the production names don't always give a clue of what because production names are usually used so people don't know what's going on.
But when you name Ant-Man like Pym Productions 3,
yeah, I mean that's I mean in the majority of the time a production name is usually given to like high profile like stuff, so people aren't just gathered around and like because they if you see like when Avengers was being shot, it was group therapy. Nobody's gonna know who group therapy is unless they are in the like close to getting news close to this business, So they don't want people surrounding and like if they know Robert Downey Jr.'s in the area, they're gonna be sitting there all day long, And I mean, finger guns. I mean, it's.
I assume if it's not Hawkeye, and
it's not Hawkeye.
I trust you. I assume then it's got to be Deadpool.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like I don't know what that side. Like I haven't really been in touch with people on that side. So lately, so I'm not entirely sure. I could find out, but like it's definitely not Hawkeye.
Yeah. It's just the thing that the whole like people are confused which one it is, and it's just like I'll let other people figure that out.
Yeah, I mean sometimes production like are kind of a clue for what it is. I mean, but like sometimes it's not. Like when we were filming Luke Cage, it was Tiara. That was the production. Yeah. So I mean, like if you weren't familiar with the character.
So what's the Falcon and the Winter Soldier one?
Oh man, I forgot what it was called.
So I've heard it been mentioned and seen it been like typed out.
I forgot what it was called. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll tell you. I can tell you on my.
I want to say it's some Die Hard reference or something like that.
I believe so. I can look it up somewhere. It's on my computer somewhere. But yeah. I mean, production names are not always a clue, but sometimes it is. It's weird. Yeah. I mean. Pym Productions is kind of like a wink and a nod, I guess. Or hit you over the head. That's such a. It's like a hit you over the head reference, Like
it's like we don't care. We know Ant-Man's not going to be the biggest thing. Hint, wink, wink. Just name it Pym. Sorry.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. Like this whole Reddit thing is kind of. I think
it's a horrible situation for like either way it goes. If she's telling the truth, which people say, "Oh, innocent until proven guilty" for the person being accused, but they forget that why would you automatically assume the accuser's lying? Like, it works. It does work both ways. So like,
either way, I kind of feel that. I mean, this is another case of like the media kind of like, kind of blowing it up a little bit more.
A little bit, but I don't think it gained that much traction.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of came out. There's an initial worry, then it just went away. It's just like, okay, fair enough.
Well, I mean, look, it's still kind of early, so you're probably.
I mean, there is that. Like, like when this sort of thing comes out, it moves fairly quickly.
Yeah, the news cycle is hard, is fast. So like I'm sure we're gonna hear more about it in the next couple of weeks.
I imagine it probably helps that Ryan didn't really respond.
Well, I mean, like
he just went about his day. It's like, okay, Radical.
Well, I think that's a smart thing to do. Like, why would you like?
Especially if it's false. Like, don't bite and make yourself look worse than being made out to be.
Like, whoever's publicist is are fantastic. Like that. That's like it's usually the most like the hurt. Like that's where celebrities get in more of a bind is like they'll start directly. Like I didn't do anything, or
I'm not a crook.
Yeah, or something like that, And I think it's gonna go. Honestly, I think it's gonna go away unless something gets dug up.
Yeah.
Like
or unless he pulls a Jeff Goldblum and comes out defending people he shouldn't. It's just like, no, why
don't do it.
But you are a treasure to the internet, shush, please.
I think it's just it's a divorce, man. Divorces are just messy, and like it's like 99.9% of the time it's messy, and there's like the one occasion where it's just like amicable and there's nothing going on, and but it's even more so when you're worth like I don't know, like millions of dollars.
I mean, when you've just been in the biggest movie of all time.
Yeah, and he's a very successful house flipper and all that stuff. So he's making money.
I always forget he has that real estate business, and on top of that, he's got all his album.
And I'm sure she's well aware of that, and that's why she's like, I mean, again, whether he did it or not, that's why she did it. That's why she said what she said, is to get the jump on, and she's probably goading him to respond, and like, and it's kind of sad either way because like there's a kid involved too now, so. Like
that's the worst part in it. So there's the show, and the show can take a back seat really at the end of the day. It's like the kid's caught in the crossfire, unfortunately. That's a really bad thing to. I shouldn't have said that one. But she's caught in the middle, and it's just like
and it's like I think okay, and I'm not defending anybody here by saying this, but like I think that what she did was kind of wrong because like she knows that the kid's involved, but she's going and saying these things in public. And like they could do this.
You could do it behind closed doors, especially if it's something like that. It was obviously going to get out anyway, but going that route straight away,
that just seems to me is like I don't know these people very. I don't, but I'm just saying like as a person, I don't think I would openly accuse my wife of like putting a gun to my face or anything like that because she knows how the news cycle works. And that news is going to hurt him regardless. And then in the process, you're hurting the kids. I don't know. That's my thought. I think it's just it's a messy thing that's going to get sorted out. And like, if he did it, then he deserves whatever he gets, like, and if he didn't, I hope he gets vindicated and he keeps the show. I love the character. I love the actor.
I imagine it's his last one anyway.
I mean, from what I heard, he might be sticking around, but as a peripheral role.
That'd be cool.
As a
to be fair, the whole Clint and Kate thing, like they are such a great dynamic. Kind of.
And I mean, he's not the character. I mean, as far as I know, the character doesn't have a plan to go away permanently. Like it's not the Black Widow where Black Widow is dead, and there's a very hard way.
She has a movie.
But and then the other thing that like people were surprised that it was supposed to be a movie, and I'm like, were you really surprised?
That's another thing as well. It's like a part of me wasn't shocked that Hawkeye was a movie at first because why wouldn't it have been a movie? But at the same time, I'm shocked that they made it a series.
I'm glad it's made a series.
Especially like I kind of, looking at it, I can understand why, because both the Black Widow and Hawkeye movie essentially came, well, the Hawkeye series, not movie, are going to be the same thing. So putting two of the same things out, especially when they're trying to be all different and everything, I can understand why you wouldn't want to do that. It's like, hey, we're going to have a series of this and also have a movie of that.
I mean, I think the series will be better because like the character really hasn't been fleshed out all that much. Like he didn't.
Oh yeah, I'm just more like me, like just purely the premise of the whole thing. Like
I think
here's the old guard passing the torch one way or another.
Yeah, I mean, I think as a movie, I don't know. Like with a movie, you have to condense a lot of stuff, and you don't want to if you're introducing a major character that's going to be prolific through the whole universe.
I say you could. The way they've done it, you can tell which one's going to be the focus, and the more set the piece of everything. It's like, oh yeah, the one that's got the development, Kate.
Yeah. And I'm kind of glad that it went to a series because I think you would have lost something in a 2-hour movie in somewhere, and because you would have had to rush the character being introduced, and you had to rush this and rush that, and with this series, it's 8 hours to kind of Jeremy Renner doesn't.
Oh, it's 8 episodes.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, don't apologize. That's great. So it's going to be the first 8 episode one.
Or 6 hours. I'm sorry, 6 episodes.
Damn it.
I'm thinking all the way back. But
So what were you thinking of then? What's
I was thinking something else.
But which one?
Yeah.
It's been a while. I have to get it out.
I miss those days. We were trying to get me in the
sorry, carry. I'll stop being.
But I think a 6 hour show. I think I don't know. I never saw the Hawkeye as a movie. To me, I always felt like I was kind of relieved to see that it was on a D+ show instead of a movie because you get more of the character and you get more development. I mean, the character has not been developed. Very little.
I suppose out of the two of them, him and Widow, he's definitely got the least.
Yeah, and because he's look at his development in the movies. I mean, the first introduction, he's basically a villain. The whole movie, you know, he's mind controlled. You know, I think the most development he's had was in Age of Ultron.
Yeah, and even that is just a case of he has a family. Cool.
Yeah, it's just an off reference of 10 minutes in a 2.5 hour, 3 hour movie. You know, that someone basically had to fight to get into. You know, but I don't know. I mean, I'm glad it's a series, and you know,
I just find it funny that you look at these properties and you go, all right, speedsters in these comic book properties don't live.
Yeah.
We ain't nice to speedsters. People with that bow and arrows are on TV.
I mean, who's to say the speedster doesn't come back? You know,
it's I see the pigeonholing these poor people. Yeah. Equality for bow and arrow people.
Mm. So the second part of this question, the Steinfeld thing.
Yes, I completely forgot about that. I'm so focused on that. But yeah,
the Steinfeld thing is a bit more complicated.
Because from what's come out, they really want Steinfeld.
Yeah.
I can understand why. I don't want anyone but Steinfeld. She was my number one choice when someone said about it, and I'm like, yep. She's all I want now. Some people say she's too old. I don't agree with that in the slightest, but
I mean, I think she gives you that Tom Holland quality where he.
I'd say she looks not 20, so it's fine.
Yeah, and she's the perfect age for that character because you don't want a 15-year-old kid or 16-year-old kid in this role, man. You want something a little older that can deliver, and I think she's got the talent, to do it.
She's a fantastic actress. Fantastic.
I mean, she was in the Transformer movies, for God's sake. So I mean,
wasn't she nominated for an Oscar ages ago?
Yeah,
I can't think what she was in. Oh, it doesn't matter. I remember the important part. That's fine. She was nominated. But yeah, I know. I hope she gets it I hope she decides to go with it. But...
Well, I think it comes down to the management team, and that's what I've been told. Her management is, or reps, I should say.
Because the whole thing, the story at the minute it's all Dickinson. It's all the Apple TV stuff.
I don't know.
At the same time.
Well, I don't think that show. To be quite honest, I don't see that show going past season 1, man.
I think it's been renewed.
Really?
Because they renewed the morning show and that Jason Momoa C, where they're all blind. That's got season 2, so I'm not sure. Well, I might just be assuming that it's got it because those two did, but I could be wrong.
So, what's the critical reception for these shows? I think,
I think Dickinson's the only one that's got a good reception so far.
Well, I mean, I look, dude. Like people can do two things at one time. Depends on the shooting schedule. If she really wants to do it, then she'll make time to do it. Yeah. If she doesn't want to do it, then she's gonna say no.
I say it feels very one-sided, leaning to no. She's not going to be Bishop because, like, just the way she's talking about it, like, oh, you know, that might not even be happening. Blah blah blah. Blah. It's like I really want to do more Dickinson. It's like,
yeah. Well, I mean, I think I don't know, man. It all comes down to how good season 1 of this show is. Yeah. Of Dickinson. If it does really well, I don't think she's gonna do it. If it does really poorly, then consider her Kate Bishop because she needs a paycheck. You know.
Yeah. I just worry. It's not really a worry. It's more of who's the next choice if you haven't spoken to anyone other than Steinfeld.
I mean, I'm sure they got choices. I haven't heard anything.
I haven't heard. Go for the girl we got for the older Morgan Stark that he never used in Endgame.
God no. I mean, look, is Haley Steinfeld my first choice? Yes. Is she my only choice? Probably not. We could probably find more people that could fill that. I think she's just the choice A at this point. Yeah. And you know, she's like very in demand, so she's definitely going to be. They're going to pursue her. Yeah. But if not, then I mean, like I said, I haven't really been in the loop with a lot of stuff lately. So I haven't heard anything. Yeah. Because I've been kind of, I muted a lot of my phones and stuff like that. So like I really have. Smart. Yeah, you know, focusing on my other stuff and like so I haven't really kept up with a lot of things going on. But like I'm 100% sure that she's not the only person on it. Yeah.
I mean, I imagine she's not. It's just a case of like, I wonder who else is on the list. I mean, it's mainly because you know, I like Kate Bishop. I don't know that much about the character in general. From what I've read, I've enjoyed, and it's like, someone said Steinfeld, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm done. I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like everything else is kind of like, no, I want Steinfeld. So I've never really thought about who else I would get if it wasn't. But...
she's definitely, like I said, the first choice.
Yeah.
Because she looks the part, you know. But like, I'm sure that there's a short list of people that are, you know, that are like, hey, she's not going to do it. Let's find this other person. You know.
It's just weird that I can't even think of a name.
I mean, like just Googling actresses over 20, you know, like
yeah, just pick one with black hair.
Like, I mean, like they're. I think. I mean, I'm looking at not Shailene Woodley. That's for sure.
Oh, no.
I mean, what do you think, Tessa Farmiga?
I don't recognize the name.
Oh, she was from The Final Girls. She was in American Horror Story, season 1, I believe.
Never watched either of those.
Yeah. She's like her younger sister is Vera from. She's the younger sister to Vera Farmiga that was in The Conjuring. I would say you don't.
I've never watched The Conjuring either. So.
Okay, she was in the most recent reboot of The Twilight Zone. She was in The Nun. I mean,
right. Everyone you're looking at, I've never seen a single thing.
You're like, huh?
I'm just like, I don't watch a lot of that stuff.
Well, I mean, looking at her, I kind of get that vibe.
Yeah. All right.
Before
I reveal how much I haven't actually watched on TV.
I can see the number of people have just dropped even more.
I'm sorry, chat.
The diatribe. Sean's diatribe this time.
So yeah, I hope it's Steinfeld. They've obviously got people they want to talk to as well if it doesn't work out. I imagine it's happen regardless, to be honest.
Yeah.
With everything, so I wouldn't fret too much, to be honest.
But, I mean, she's a great pick, but like she's not the only pick, I'm sure. He agrees too.
Right. He always agrees. He's a good.
He's like, no, I want Haley Steinfeld.
But to move on, we're going to finally HBO's Watchmen.
Yes.
How much have you seen it?
I've seen the first episode.
I've seen the first one, right? What did you make of the first one?
Oh man, heads and tails. It made me forget about the actual movie completely, which is a good thing.
Hero story stuff. No.
Yeah. I thought it was well shot. Looked great. Surprisingly well written, considering the fact that it's Lindelof.
Yeah.
I like the idea of what they're doing. I like the characters they're focusing on.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I say it's interesting that I have read Watchmen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's not like it's really retained in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the references probably go over my head. But for the most part, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I just don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I don't. It's so like each episode kind of like it answers the question, but then it gives you another question.
Oh yeah.
And like there's like a vagueness to the Ozymandias role. I kind of like that though.
I say I'm enjoying that part because it's obvious who he is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 100%. They try to throw you for a loop, but there's something happening with that that I can't figure out.
I think I know what you're talking about too.
What do you think it is?
Where he's at, right? Like, where is he? Because I've heard what happened in episode 2 and 3, and
so you know about the whole the games,
man.
The game work, yeah.
See,
what I was referring to was the candles on the cake.
Oh, okay.
Because like they're celebrating an anniversary. Like every time you see him, they're like "Happy anniversary," and every time you see the cake's got more candles. Like the first time you see it was 1, then it was 2, now it's 3.
Yeah.
So obviously we don't know how the timeline of these events.
Yeah. I mean, this could be.
It could be like each one's a year, and we're seeing a year at a time for him, and it's obviously he's playing like differently to everything else, or he's having like accelerated time, so it's happening concurrently, but his years are going quicker than everyone else's. I don't know.
Yeah. Like the prevailing theory that people have been saying is like he's in prison somewhere.
Yeah, I can see that. I can imagine John's done something.
Yeah. I like just in the episode that I've seen, it kind of did what the first season of Lost did for me, which is kind of weird, that ironic that it comes from basically the same person.
Yeah. It does feel very Lost. I will give that as a very valid point. Actually, it does feel very like we're not going to tell you anything. He is just all intrigue.
But like
nothing's going to happen. It's all about world building.
Yeah. My biggest problem is, and I hope I hope it doesn't happen, is that it happened. The thing that happened with Lost happens with this, because like it Lost.
Was you get 7 seasons in, and then it just turns to crap.
Well, I mean, it just doesn't go anywhere. Like,
yeah.
To me, I like what I liked about the first episode is like it just gave me enough to make me come back. Just that last part of the scene at the very end made me want to come back and watch. Makes me want to go and watch episode 2 right now.
Yeah,
because I want to know what happened.
Like when episode 1 aired, everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! It's fantastic." I watched it and like I don't know if it's because I'm not like that into watch. I'm not that well versed with it. It didn't hook me as much, but it hooked me enough that I was intrigued and I wanted to see what happened. Then I found people were very divided on episode 2. Like it lost a lot of people, but a lot of people I know say it's like episode 2 was fantastic. They did this thing; it was amazing. I was kind of like, I still felt the same way as episode 1. It's like nothing. There's no overarching plot, really. There's little plots going around, but I don't see how they all come together. And then episode 3 is kind of the same, but they introduce someone. And they go more into more traditional Watchmen stuff, and I'm like, now you have me.
I mean, I heard that like the biggest contention was the main character that people are focusing on. The show is focusing on, Everybody seems to be.
The pervading thing I've seen for her, like, is it Sister Night? Is that the character's name? Yeah, like people like she's getting praised.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's that contention or that part of the internet where it's like, it's that stuff again because everything has to revolve around that. Apparently, despite them complaining that revolves around that. So.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'll give it this, man. Like, I like the catalyst of. I like what they did with taking a real world history thing and kind of flipping it a little bit. You know, because like that whole thing really happened.
Yeah.
You know, because there was a town full, you know, of predominantly, you know, black, you know, African American, but I mean, I'm still cautiously optimistic, cautious about the show because I felt the same way about The Lost. But then it kind of let me down. Like, even after season 1, it still let me down. And
I was so hooked on Lost when that came out.
Yeah, it definitely did the job of hooking people, but it didn't really stick the landing.
Yeah.
Even after season 1, I kind of fell off because it was just like usually a season answers a question, but then gives you another question.
Yeah.
You know, that show didn't answer nothing. And it just made that was what they wanted you to come back on season 2, not knowing nothing, and then not knowing anything on season 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You know, not really answering questions, but giving too many questions.
Yeah.
You know, and
I agree. I unfortunately I can see this show going that way as well. It's just from like it's been 3 episodes and it's like there's not really any plot. Main plot. There's little subplot, or like I'd class as subplots. It's not enough to carry the show. I still imagine it's gonna actually have some big plot, and it's gonna drive it that way. It does feel very world buildy right now.
Yeah.
It's like here's this thing and how this works. Here's this thing and how that works. You know, we're gonna follow this so you know everything, and then like here's these two are gonna do this, and then this person comes into it. It's just like, like, I am really enjoying it though. Like, I'm far better than what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting anything.
Exactly. Another thing I liked about the show was it's more of a comic sequel.
It's 100% a sequel to the comics, and it really backs away from what Snyder did.
Yeah, and I'm happy, and that was my biggest fear about that show was like, that movie never got me. So why would I want to watch a 6-hour show about that movie?
Yeah, exactly. No,
I didn't want that. You know, I liked from what I heard, it embraces the comic book more, in a scene with Ozzy.
100%.
See, that makes me want to watch it more because I did like the comic more, a little bit more better, a lot better than the movie. It doesn't shy away from the weirdness either.
No.
Squids.
There's lots of squids.
Here's the squids, people. Your squids are here. I like the cop thing. I
say the whole mask thing. Now that we know what it's about and the context of it, I really like that idea. Yeah, it feels plausible. A lot of this show is very much like, you can
definitely see it. I think this is what the movie wanted to be.
Yeah,
but it wasn't. You know, but I like the whole. I felt like the Rorschach thing. I think that's what would really happen. Is something like that would happen. Like a white nationalist would take that and just take it to heart, you know. And then
I say it feels very much like a meta commentary on the whole. Like people siding like the Punisher and stuff. You know, you're not supposed to like Rorschach. Rorschach's an asshole. He's not a good guy, but people love him and they look up to him in that sort of way, and it feels like a commentary on that. It's like, no, you're not supposed to like him. This is what you people are that like him. Not saying that everyone that likes Rorschach is, you know.
But this is like
gay member, but that's
this is what a person would do if they read what his memoir.
Yeah,
because his memoir wasn't like well articulated. It was like the end. You know, like it was a very like angry. You know, like these people took it the wrong way, and as well so, because like it was written that way. And Warsock was a mentally unstable person.
Yeah.
He was.
And also, I don't care what they say. This is very much a commentary on politics today.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like how they could come out and say no. I know why they said it, because I don't want people to think, oh, it's political, I'm not going to watch it. I want to judge it for what it is. But it's clear as day. It's about you can't do Watchmen without politics. Damn thing's based on it.
Yeah, I think them saying that was kind of like the wrong move. It's like you can admit that it was influenced by politics and not let the politics take over the show.
Yeah.
And like say, this did influence me, but this is not what the show is about. I don't know.
Despite the show being 100% about that.
Yeah.
It's it tells you right from word go, we're about this.
So how long do you think it's going to take for what's his face, Dr. Manhattan to show up? Do you think it's going to be like season 2 or at the end of season 1?
It'll be in season 1.
End of season 1, right?
They're very focused on him at the minute.
Yeah,
there's a hilarious. I don't know if you've seen it. There's a hilarious bit in episode 3. If you haven't seen it, I won't spoil what it is.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I see pictures of like.
I just sat there.
Very impressive.
It's very impressive.
But
episode 2 was very impressive as well. He hasn't been in the show, but they're very self-aware on the fact that it's kind of all laid bare, literally, for the world to see. And it's just like, oh, that's the thing. Especially when this person comes back and then pulls out this thing in the episode. It's just like, it's such a wink. It's literally a wink, the winky eye, and then it's hilarious.
Plus, I like what they did with like, I like that they're focusing on not so much on the characters from that comic, as far as the peripheral people. Like Sister Night is not like a main character of that book, but she's the main character of the show. But Laurie's around. I like what they did with like, Night Owl's in jail. All that. All
that was surprising to me. That one. No.
I can't like I mean, like it didn't surprise me. I like that it is that instead of he's around. Like I like the Archie, the cops having a Archie as a I mean, I like the Don Johnson character, especially what happens to him at the end. That's very interesting.
That's just the entire show. Like it's all interesting. It's hooking me the way I think the movie should have done, but it didn't. That movie's just like it's got nothing to say and it says it badly.
To me, the movie was Snyder's. It was just copy and paste with something different, and like the thing that was different in the movie
was he had no soul.
It
like literally nothing.
Why wouldn't you just put that thing in there and just embrace it? You're like, why? Like there's you don't need an explanation. It's just it's there. Like I like
the movie's the perfect example of people looking at Rorschach and missing the point.
Yeah, exactly. No. Yeah, because he's basically the main focal point of that movie, right? And like he's supposed to be sympathetic. It's like, no, the guy's a lunatic. This is the same guy that basically instead of like he's the vigilante that people, he's the guy that comes in instead of calls the cops, he chops the guy up in pieces. Like I understand why people like that because like you have that fantasy. Like what would you do if you found a child molester? The real thing is you wouldn't punch the guy. You would call the cops on a guy. Like that's the reality. Like you're not gonna go shoot the guy in the head.
Also, if your power fantasy is something that's psychotic, you got a problem.
You might want to see a therapist. But I mean, I can see that fantasy if it was your kid. But if you're just going around like saying this is what you would do to a person, it's like. You might want to go see a therapist because there might be some unchecked aggression in you, man. Like, like the reality is like you're going to go to jail for doing what you did, and that's it. That's the end of the story. You're not going to go around with a death's head skull on your chest. You're probably going to go to jail or die, like that's the the reality. Like,
say that you'll buy the van and they will find that van very quick.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is not a movie, man. Like, you shoot somebody, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be found, and you're probably gonna go to jail for a very long time.
Yeah, you won't be as smart as the people in the books.
No,
that's all you can.
But yeah, I like what they did with the way. That's exactly how a person would interpret that manual that they found. They would take that way, and then it would be a guy from a white nationalist person saying, "Yeah, he was right.
Yeah,
let's build a cult." My biggest question is like the Tim Nielsen. I can't remember his name, but he's like the guy he's like the Rorschach character, but like a reflective mask.
I don't know.
Nothing has happened
exactly. Like they've used him a bit, but it's just like I don't know what's going on with you. Admittedly, I need to watch when the series is done. I'm going to go back and watch it all over again because
I think it'll benefit something.
100%. Like it's very much one of those shows where it's like, hey, you missed this, and it's like, oh, that's how that thing. They stay planting these seeds here and there. So I'm definitely gonna. I've got a lot of time for this show, and I didn't think I would. So I'm extremely happy.
I'm definitely going to be very interested how this show ends. Like that's the factor of whether I'm coming back or not. Like if they give me a nice, intelligible ending to it, not an ending, but I know it's going to be a
sequel hook, obviously, or not a sequel hook, but like a second series hook.
Yeah, it's going to be a cliffhanger type ending, obviously. But like, I want something that gives me something back, and like he's fooled me once with one show. I'm not going to be I don't think I'm going to be as forgiven if this show kind of peters out for me. Then I'm just going to be like, I mean, it was great for the first couple of episodes.
I say that's my one thing. I hope it doesn't. Not pick up's not the right word because then you're going to be like, oh, it's just too slow and smart for you. It's like no, like it's.
I mean,
it needs to start getting to its point.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Because it's only
or at least kind of like start teasing its point.
Well, isn't it like an 8-episode run, or is it 6?
I think it's 8.
Okay,
I'm not sure. I'm not.
So they're on their 3rd episode, right?
I say at the very least they're nearing their halfway point.
Okay, so by the halfway point, something's got to give, man. Like you gotta like, there's got to be a revelation in season 4 or episode 4, and then like, I've heard that there's a revelation with the character of John Johnson's character that I haven't, like I said, I heard people saying that that will come back up, and he, his character.
I'm trying to think what it is now.
I don't know. That's what someone was telling me. It's just like, I don't know. He seemed like,
this is why I say I got to rewatch it again. It's been a full week, and it's just like
because from what I heard, like, and I might be wrong, he's the only character that doesn't wear a mask, right?
Yes.
Because he like he feels kind of safe without him. Like, that's what I remember. Someone told me about that. So like, that kind of is interesting because he's like, everybody else seems like all the police are wearing masks. I mean, and like he's the only one that's not wearing a mask. That's kind of weird. I don't know. It's a good, strong episode. The first episode for me was good and strong. But it just kind of revolves around like if episode 4 doesn't resolve something, like introduce something new or like answer a question about that's been, like at least what's going on with Ozymandias.
Yeah.
Something. Give me something.
I imagine that's going to be the sequel. I'm not saying sequel. That's going to be like the big revelation at the end, and obviously that's going to be the revelation that leads to like the question for season 2. That's what I imagine anyway.
But. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I hope it's a little bit more than that because I don't know. I heard. Like, did you recognize his butler? Like, did you watch Sleepy Hollow?
Nope.
Okay. Nope. Well, fun fact: he is the guy that played Ichabod Crane in CPI.
That's cool. That's cool.
And that's interesting too. the clones.
Yeah, that's one. It's just like,
See, that's and then like I seen a still recently. He's like in a mask of like looks like a space mask and stuff like that.
It's not the
clone the clone butter.
Yeah, it's not the Dr. Manhattan mask, is it?
No. I know what I know what that you're talking about, but it's like it's the same episode that introduces the Game Master.
Did he wear a mask in that episode?
Well, it was like not a mask. It was like it looked like a suit, that he was wearing.
Yes, yes. That's at the beginning, I believe. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah.
See that's the stuff that's hooking me more.
Yeah. See, that makes me wonder if he's actually on Mars.
That's what it was like. I was thinking, like, is the character because obviously, like from the end of the comic, it seems like he got away with it.
Yeah.
But did he really? That's my question. I mean, like
we know he's alive. We know they didn't get him, so where is he? Sort of thing.
Yeah, like it seems like and it seems like the place that he's at is kind of alien to me. Like the lighting seems kind of off. I don't know. It just seems
no. You said that. Yeah.
And like the whole clone thing, it's like he doesn't seem like he's going anywhere but this castle.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't go out.
He went to do something in the third episode, and then instantly got a letter saying like, "Stop that."
Yeah. So I think the Mother Knight stuff is like Sister Knight stuff is like really interesting too. Especially is it Louis Gossett Jr.? That's the.
I'm not sure. The actor's names I'm not terrible on.
But that stuff is good. It's fun to watch. But I like the stuff that's hooking me is the Ozymandias thing.
It's the more Watchmen stuff, yeah.
Yeah. The more stuff that I'm a little bit more familiar with.
Yeah. I think that's why episode 3 hooked me more, because it was more the Watchmen stuff. I was like, yeah.
It's stuff that you're familiar. You can kind of put like this other stuff is kind of like it's really new, and I like it. Don't get me wrong. I like what they're presenting to me. It's just kind of slow for me.
No, I get it.
But it's interesting, especially with the cops and stuff like that. How they have to wear masks to protect their identities, and that's and like I remember us talking like months ago about like what's going on here. Why are the police wearing masks?
I remember when that still came out, or the separation came. People were like, "What is this?
Yeah,
like what is going on? That's dumb. That's stupid." Now it's like, actually, you know what? It works.
Yeah, it works.
I take it. I'll eat crow. I'll take it all back.
Well, like I'll eat a bucket of crow on that one. But like like it's easy. It's look coming from the people who are putting this together. They kind of have a legacy of
The reputation's not there to warrant. No.
Yeah, it's like I'm not going to eat everything that Lindelof gives me without asking questions.
No.
I said skeptical. I was very skeptical about this, but I'm open to it. But like, that was my biggest contention about going into the show is like, what's and that's why I wanted a little bit more from like the trailers, because it's like, just give me something, man. Give me a clue what's going on here, so I can at least to latch on to something, because
and 3 hours in and we still haven't got the clue. So
yeah. I mean, I think that's a Lindelof thing though, and that's the thing that's really scaring me about like kind of making me kind of cringe about this is like, what is this like? Where is this going? Like, give me something, man. Just give me like. These are all cool images. They're all great stories.
So what you do is really good. But what's the point?
Yeah, but what's the end game, or what's going on here? Give us something to, just don't give us all mystery. Give us something.
Yeah.
It's like that's where I think Lost went really sideways. It was like too much mystery.
I mean, admittedly, in fairness to Lost, there's a lot of writer's strike stuff on that. So.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll give it a mulligan, but like. Even some of his other stuff, it's not like.
True. Like he hasn't got like the best track record by any stretch.
And I gave him a mulligan on this show, but like at some point, if I'm going to invest time and I want something,
you got to give you something. No.
Yeah, you can't just like give me all these questions and not answer one of them.
No.
It's like, you do something, man. Like. Because nobody wants to stick around for mystery.
No.
They
gets old real quick. If you don't give an answer, that was the point. Like, what am I doing?
Ask JJ, man. The mystery box thing does not work.
It sells tickets apparently.
It sells tickets because, but like
it's Star Wars, of course it's going to sell tickets.
But like, but in the short term, yes. Long term, not really, because people are going like, especially with JJ's mystery box thing. It was just like the whole Star Trek thing was just ridiculous. It was con. Don't tell me it wasn't con when it was con.
Yeah, that was dumb. I remember
that. And it's the same with everything else. It's like you can sell is like he's taking like it's just like Lindelof. You're taking your legacy and you're gambling with it, man. Like like all mysteries are cool, but like answers are cool too, man. Give me something. Like I'm investing time and effort into this. So I'm
literally giving you the money.
Yeah.
That ad revenue is being paid by me. So
$15 a month, man. And granted, there's other things on the app to justify the $15, but like that show is a good part of it, man. Because like I didn't have HBO until that show came out.
Yeah.
Like that was the reason why I got HBO. Like so. I mean, if you want me to come back for season 2, you gotta give me something too.
They can't let us starve. Just feed us.
Yeah, exactly.
Just give us the tiniest little nugget and we're back from home.
You can't promise me a whole big meal and give me a box of cornflakes. Don't like.
But they're 5-star cornflakes.
But in the long term, that's how fans turn against creators.
Yeah, that's true. 100%.
Like you can't tease people all this and then not give them something.
No. But I believe that's gonna bring us to an end of this show. So if you're not watching Watchmen, change it. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, give it a chance. It's not like you're paying $15 just for the show, Like,
yeah,
give it. I wouldn't pay $15 just for the show, but like.
Oh no, I wouldn't. No, not a chance.
But like it's really good so far. There's an asterisk.
It's intriguing. Like my one worry is that it's not going to lead anywhere. I'm going to be
cancellation city, man.
Yeah, but
I will cancel that. I will literally cancel that app faster than I could. Frugal.
I mean, it's got a lot of promise right now, and it is really good. So.
Yeah, it's so far it's delivering. But like, I'm gonna give it to the end of the season. If the season doesn't give me something, I'm probably not gonna end up walking into season 2. I don't know, man. Like don't have time to like guess.
Yeah. No one's got time for that. So thank you for joining.
Thank you,
everyone. So hopefully catch you next Friday, and the comics will be back next week as well. Might be on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So catch you next time. So, bye.
Bye.